When I was 12 years old, I went on my very first deer hunting outing with my father, and we went up to the high mountains in Utah in search of a buck. And when we got near to the top of the ridge, we thought we had seen or heard a buck run into some trees. So my dad came up with the plan that we needed to split up, me go towards the top and get a shot off, and he stay right under the trees. So if the deer ran his way, he could kind of track him and see where he was going. And so when I went up to the top, I didn't know what I was expecting. I walked into a patch of quakies, and as I turned the corner, I see this huge monster, a bull elk, and it just looks at me and it starts to bugle and it runs away. It sounded like an elephant, and it was probably the most scary and actually the most exciting thing I'd ever seen in my life. Ever since then, I had been hooked on elk. My name is Zachary Barney, and I would like to share just a few things with you today about archery elk hunting. I've been archery elk hunting for about 10 years now, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm not the greatest at it, but it's something that I love to do. And the reason why I love archery elk is because I love the animal. Elk are very noble and beautiful creatures, and I love to archery hunt as well. And so the best of both worlds for me. I would like to just tell you a little bit about the elk. They're very seasonal and intelligent animals. They have very specific patterns and they're very knowledgeable. I would like to share a little clip with you of elk bugling, actually. Right there, you could hear somebody cow calling towards an elk during the rut. And the rut is a season where it is the breeding season. It's when the bull elk, they go around and they try to find their girls, to try to find some mates so they can, breed and make some offspring. And that's actually when they're most vulnerable. That is when people hunt them, is because that's when they talk and that's when they kind of get a little bit blind and they're willing to go anywhere as long as they think there's a mate there. And so that's what hunters use. They use cow calls to lure in bull elk. And also, female elk, if you're hunting a cow or a spike, you can also use a cow call to lure them in that way, because in some herds, the other cows go out to find more cows for the bulls. And so they're very intelligent in that way. And they know when there's real or fake calls. So you need to have a very real sounding and a very genuine call. And you have to do it in the rut season, or else they know that you're faking it. And it also is very interesting that they're smart in the fact that they know which land is private and public. It is very interesting how they know where they're safe and where they're not safe. They know which fences people will follow them to and which fences people won't. Also, I would like to talk a little bit about equipment too. Right here, I have a basic compound bow. This is a Hoyt Alpha Max. I have my poundage set at 68 pounds, and that's just the drawback weight. I have it there because I'm able to pull that back. I'm fairly strong, but also I feel it is the most ethical weight that I know that will down an animal and make it the least painful for them, and it won't cause any bad injuries if I do get a shot off. I would like to end with a great quote and a question for you tonight. It is by Steve Vernella. He's also a fellow elk hunter. He says, "Make yourself do a lot of things that you'll be happy to look back on, and make sure that you've got plans for more of those things in the future." As with me with archery elk hunting, again, I love being outdoors. I love the animal. They're very noble and they're beautiful creatures. And sometimes we need to sit down and ask ourselves, am I sitting down and am I making time for the things that I love? And I would just invite you to think about that and ask yourself that every once in a while.